everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 6 of my 15 days of beauty, and this is where I am uploading a video every single day for 15 days in the month of December, kind of sharing some of my absolute favorites for the year of 2022, some of my favorite discoveries. But today's video is my worst of 2022. So these are the products that I tried, tested, but just do not like. Now, there's some products out there that I've tested that I didn't personally like, but thought that they might fit a particular need. These are products that I bought, tested, and I don't feel like they are absolutely worth the money, and I cannot recommend them on any level. So that's this kind of list. It's like you are just not good, and I'm not going to recommend you to anyone. That's where we're going with this. So let's jump into the video. I probably need to preface this video by saying any of the products that I discuss in today's video, if you happen to love them, just know that makeup is subjective and that we all need something different from our makeup. And just because I don't love something doesn't mean that you shouldn't love it or whatever. This is just my experience, my opinion, and I can be a little brutal when it comes to sharing my thoughts on things, but that's just it's all in good fun. It's all from love, right? None of these products are in any particular order. I'm just going to pick them up, grab them, and start talking about them, okay? First up, this palette. Oh, this was a bad palette. This is from Byredo. Byredo. How do you say that? Is it Byredo or Byredo? Doesn't matter. This palette is bad. At the end of the day, I cannot recommend this. Now, I know this was a limited edition palette, but the textures in here are just straight up weird. First, you have the shimmers are okay. They are. But do they justify the entire purchase of the palette? No, because the matte shades are absolute garbage. They're the type of formula that you can put it on and put it on and put it on, and it will blend out to absolutely nothing. And this shade right here is straight up patchy. So as you keep trying to build it, it's just a patchy freaking mess. And I just do not like this palette. And here's the thing. I hated this palette so much that I don't know that I will ever purchase another eyeshadow palette from that brand because it was just that bad, right? You know how when you just have such a bad experience and it's your first time, that's the first time I've ever bought anything from that brand, and I had such a bad experience, I was like, yeah, no. Plus it was like $100 some. It's just bad. Don't recommend it. Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about this. This is from Chantecaille. So this is the Anti-Aging Face Tint Sheer Bronze. I can't make this work, and I just can never recommend it. I'm sorry, but I cannot recommend this. This is too hard to use and too hard to try to force it to work. And here's the thing. I thought it might be like the gel bronzer. I love the gel bronzer from Chantecaille. I wish they would launch more shades, but it is a beautiful formula, and it blends, and it's so natural, and just one of the best gel bronzers out there. So I was thinking that maybe this might be something similar to that. This never like melts into the skin because it's a skincare product. It sets on top of the skin. I've tried it with fingers, doesn't work. I've tried it with a brush, doesn't work. A brush is better than the fingers. It is. If you can get it on and make it look right, it's not going to last very long. Within 30 minutes, it's gone. Or you've touched your face or something's happened and it's gone. I cannot recommend this on any level for what it is. I don't even recommend it for a nighttime because you're going to get that all over your sheets, right? That just doesn't make sense. Can't recommend it. I have tried it so many times. It's just, you know how you just you've tried it so many different ways and you just give up. And then you're thinking, how are people making this work? Because it's almost, it feels impossible, right? That's where I'm at with that from Chantecaille. Let's talk about this from Jones Road. Oh, Lord. So this is the What the Foundation. And that's exactly what it is. What the hell is this? Is one of those that is an absolute hot mess. It's one of those foundations that literally you could like ski off of it. Like it's so slippy and slidey, and this does not stay on to save my life. I see that there's probably a need for this somewhere, but it's a small group of people, because this is not even a really pretty tinted moisturizer. This is not a really pretty, like really natural, really hydrating. This is just bad. Like I can't find anything positive to say about it. Plus it's just gross. It's like really thick, and like, listen to this. Ugh. And you have to mix it up. Every time you use it, you have to mix it up because there's so many oils in this. I just don't get it, you guys. I don't get this product. I love the foundation sticks. You guys heard me talk about them in my favorites, you know, foundations for the year of 2022. But this is just a hot mess. Like hot, gross, disgusting. Like, ugh, it separates and it's just bad, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's just bad. I don't understand that product. Next up, we're going to talk about this from Westman Atelier. I've heard so much hype about this lip palette, and this was a absolute complete waste of money for me. Not only does it not hardly have any pigment, like it has nothing. Like it has the smallest amount of pigment, but it doesn't last very long. Like, this is a super expensive palette. And yeah, they used to all be different. So you can see I've tried to make this work, right? I have tried to use this and tried to understand why people love this Lip Suede palette, but I don't get it. It must be completely over my head, because I have used this so many times. I've tried to use the darker color, the lighter colors, like it doesn't make sense. It's not a very long wearing product, and I just can't ever recommend this on any level. Can't recommend it. It's too pricey for what it is. It's like glorified chapstick, and the packaging is beautiful, and that's just about it, right? It's like a very expensive chapstick, and I just don't get it. Next up, we're going to talk about Merit Beauty. Now, I did a full face of Merit, and it's so funny because at the end of the night, I didn't even know I was wearing anything. Like, this foundation, not only is it super expensive because you don't get very much product. If you guys haven't seen that video, just search at the top, Tara Lynn Merit Beauty, and it'll pull up. Not only is this like double the cost of the Tom Ford Traceless Stick Foundation, but it is a bad foundation to the point where it doesn't even last. Just one of those that literally pulls and lifts and it just disappears. It does the disappearing act, doesn't last very long. It's just a bad product. There's a lot of really good clean ingredient products out there, and this is just not one of them. And I also do not like the balm, because not only does this disappear, so this is the cheek color, not only does it not have a lot of pigment, but it also does the disappearing act. So if you go back to that video, it looks like I come back on camera with no makeup on. And that has been my experience every single time I have used these products from Merit. The only thing that I like from Merit is this. This is the only thing I like and recommend from this brand. This is the Signature Lip, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but I love this because it is kind of like a colorful, hydrating lip tint. It's a really nice product. That's the only thing that I recommend from that brand, you guys. And I think I got kicked off that PR list because they sent me some PR. I think I got kicked off that list. Anywho, let's move on to these. I've talked about these a few times. These are from By Terry. These are the CC Liquid Blush, the brightening. Gosh, these are just bad. And I like a lot of things from By Terry, but this is just not one of them. Not only is it not pigmented, like it has hardly any pigment, plus it's really a pain in the ass to get the product in there. I don't know if the product is so thick that this just doesn't really work, but I have to sit here and keep doing this and doing this and doing this to get it to come through, and it doesn't. It's like, this is a bad product. It's a bad design. It's a bad packaging, and it's a bad product. I don't recommend it. Either one of these, you guys. This one comes out a little bit better. Gosh, this is so dumb. But look how sheer that is. Look how sheer that is. Like, I don't even understand the point of these. I don't understand the reason for these. Yeah, By Terry has a lot of good products. These are not one of them. Not at all. Don't recommend them. Let's talk about these from YSL. So these are the Lip and Cheek Balmy Tints. And these are exactly what they say they are. They're more of a tint, but I don't like the formula whatsoever. It's so thick and it's not pretty on the skin, in my personal opinion. I've seen Andrea Lee use these and really enjoy them. I understand that they're for that more natural look. They don't have enough pigment. And not only do they not have enough pigment, but they're really balmy. You can see how shiny they are. And they're not flattering on the skin. I don't recommend these from YSL. There's so many good ones out in the market. I just don't like them at all. Don't like the formula. Not worth the money, for sure. Okay, let's talk about this from Chantecaille. This is the Cougar palette. What a complete waste of cute packaging. You guys have heard me talk about this, so I'll keep it brief. But what a complete waste. Look how gorgeous this packaging is. I personally love Cougars. I think they're fascinating. But look at that. Gorgeous packaging. What a complete waste. This shade is pretty. It is. But we have it. It's so redundant. We have it in like almost every palette, right? This really ugly gray. And then this shade is just wah, wah, wah. And then this, I think because they were trying to go with the theme of an actual cougar with the grays and the browns and all of that, I think they missed the mark, because here's the thing. They could have made this palette so much better than they did, but they didn't make these shades special in any way, shape, or form. Like, they could have made this gorgeous. This purple up here, they could have made it beautiful. This could have been a beautiful, like, topper shade or something. Like, what a complete flippin' waste. And these are pricey, and I don't love it, so... yeah, there we go. Let's talk about this from Surratt Beauty. This blush, though it's super silky, so here's the thing about Surratt Beauty. I like their formula. Now, you guys know I love the Beyond Beige palette, okay? Like, I still love that flippin' palette, and I will probably wear it for the rest of my life. But, so I love Surratt Beauty's formulas, but these blushes are so silky, that they are so pigmented that this can get carried away so fast that it will completely destroy your makeup. Every single time I have picked up this palette to use this blush, it destroys my makeup. It's way too much pigment. It's hard to get it to blend out once you get it on. So this is in the shade Ponceau. And it's super pretty, and I thought it would be really pretty, but holy smokes, you guys. Talk about such strong pigment that is extremely hard to blend out. Because once it's on there, and it's hard to get it to blend. So just PS, not a good color. I'm going to quickly talk about these from Sicily in case you guys have not heard me warn you about these. These are the liquid eyeshadows from Sicily, and I do not like this formula. It is one of those that's a very thin formula, but it cracks and it separates as you wear it throughout the day. I think the colors are really pretty, but once you get it on and blend it out, I mean, within an hour, it is completely separated, and it separates inside the creases. And I have tried to make these work. I've tried using less. I've tried using a little bit more. I've tried it on bare eyelids without anything underneath it. Just trying to see if there was something that I did that made these bad, but no. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are really lightly pigmented, and there's a need for that, right? I would assume in my mind that those who love Sicily and use their makeup on a regular basis are probably people who like these lighter, really, more toned down, softer products, right? So I understand that, but it's the actual formula that's bad in my opinion, and I just cannot recommend them. So if you guys were looking at those, I would not buy these. They're too expensive for what they are. Okay, next up we have this concealer from Say Beauty. So I wanted to love this because I felt like it might actually do really well for me. It's a little bit more of a hydrating, more natural concealer. Oh shit. That is exactly the problem with this. It is straight up oily. Not only just dripped on my pants, but it's straight up oily. Look at all the oil in this. There's so much essential oils in this concealer that it never sets down on the eyes and looks smooth on the skin. Kind of reminds me of the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate concealer. It's got so many essential oils in it that it just sets on top of the skin and it just looks really bad. And that's how this one is. I don't recommend this at all. There's so many good concealers out there. I don't recommend this one. Next up, we have this from Chanel. I've talked about this a few times, so I'll quickly go over why. This is the Water Fresh blush, and oh, it's such a weird product. It's so natural that it's almost too natural, and it's so expensive for what this is. It has hardly any pigment. Now, I've heard that there is one shade that actually looks really good. I haven't bought that shade, but this one is in the shade Warm Pink, and it's just hardly anything. I just don't feel like it's worth the price point for what you get from this. I just don't love it. I mean, it's almost gone. Like, as you continue to blend it, I don't know. If you guys have this from Chanel and you love it, let me know, number one, what shade you have, and number two, how you apply it. Because I have not been able to get this sucker to work, and gosh, it's expensive. Speaking of Chanel, we're going to talk about this palette. This is called the 384 Imaginaire. I wanted to love this palette because it's so peachy, and I love everything peach, especially during the summer. But this palette is not only hard to blend, but it blends away. Especially this shade right here. So you think you're going to get a good color out of it because it's dark. It is one of those that completely just blends away. So as you put it on your eyelids and you start working it in, it blends away. This palette was very, very expensive and definitely not worth the price point. And these two colors right here, I don't understand why they chose these two shades. They're so similar to each other. They're both matte and they're both so similar that it just doesn't make sense. Don't like this palette. Don't recommend it. Let's quickly talk about this palette from Burberry. Oh, this was a hot mess. So this is the Signature Eye and Face palette. And here's the thing. I did not like the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Face and Eye palettes, and I do not like the ones from Burberry either. This is not worth the packaging that it's put into. Hardly any pigment, blends really weird, doesn't look that pretty on the face. Like, just not a good palette. I'm learning that these really high-end brands that do these face and eye palettes just don't know how to do it right. They're just not getting it, because the Tom Ford ones are terrible. And that one was no different. I do not recommend this at all. And I don't know that I'll ever buy another one, to be honest with you. I don't think I will. The next and final product is the new blush palette from Patrick Ta. I just don't like this palette, you guys. The more I use it, the more I do not like it. The formula is different, and it has a funky smell to it. So I don't even know when I reviewed this. I don't know when I got it. I want to say this came out in September. This has a funky smell to it. There's an issue with the formula on this, and I just don't recommend it, you guys. Not only does the formula blend weird, so even the creams are just not very flattering on the skin, but it's the powders. They're so chunky, and like the brush picks up so much, and I mean, look how crumbly that is. See how crumbly it is? There is absolutely something wrong with that palette. At the end of the day, it's just not a good palette, and I don't recommend it on any level. So my son just arrived with this puppy, and I'm gonna go get him. He's probably super wild, but I'm gonna show you. Okay, oh shit. Here's Arlo. He is excited and very happy to be here. He came to visit me. Say hi. I know. Say hi. I know. Hi, say hi. He is too wild. Say hi. Okay. He is wild. All right. Oh, he's a handful. I know. So that's the list, you guys. Those are the worst products that I tried in the year of 2022. Sound off down below. Which products did you guys test out for the year of 2022 that you hate? Share with us in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. Don't forget to come right back here tomorrow for my continued 15 days of beauty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Love you. Bye.